So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. That's the same intro I do every time, but you know what? Until I get a new one, I'm sticking with it because I don't know what else to say. Today I'm going to be filming a Coachella makeup tutorial, and I am filming this with absolutely zero. I'm filming this with absolutely zero. I can't speak. I have never been to Coachella before in my entire life, so I'm not filming this from experience. I have an idea of what it's going to be like. I've read a lot of, I don't know, posts, Instagram posts, you know, very deep reading about it. And I've also looked at a few YouTube videos about people's experiences. So I kind of have an idea of what Coachella is. I would, for one, would really love to go to Coachella one day, but I don't know when it's going to be. To be honest, I don't have any idea. I don't have any clue of when I'll go to Coachella. I hope I will someday. But yeah, so I'm just going to be filming a makeup tutorial. So if you are going to Coachella, then you might, I don't know, draw some inspiration from this. Or if you are simply like me and you have dreams of going to Coachella, then you can fantasize about that with me as well. Coachella does get very hot because it is in the desert, it is in the hot sun, and it is in California. And I feel that as someone who lives in Texas, who always is going out to perform in the hot sun in the summer, because I am in dance and I do Ukrainian folk dancing, so we are doing like a lot of really high-powered dance routines or dances, and we're doing them outside because we primarily perform at fairs, and that's usually outside, and we almost never perform indoors, so I always have to make sure that my makeup will stay on throughout the day in the hot sun when I'm working out. So I find that I always want to strike the balance between having really long wearing makeup and have makeup that will look really natural and really beautiful. Well, natural, if you know what I mean. So the way I do this is I like to mix two foundations usually. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-hour wear foundation. This is a very long wearing foundation, great for those days when you really want your makeup to stay in place. And I wanted to mix it in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow foundation because these two together is a perfect combination. Because this, I find that when I'm wearing just this by itself in like the natural daylight, it can look a little bit foundation-y, which is not a bad thing, but just for this video I kind of want to mix it in with this one to give my skin a little bit more of a healthy look. So I'm just going to mix equal parts of these together and apply this with my beauty blender. By the way, the sun like keeps coming out and coming back in behind the clouds. I actually have some lights here to keep the lighting somewhat constant, but like I'm going to get washed out periodically throughout this video, and I apologize for that. I'm going to first apply this to my skin using my fingers, and then I'm just going to blend it out later with the beauty blender because I feel like that will be more convenient and I'll get like the maximum coverage out of this. I feel like I look beautiful right now. Compared to a brush or any other tool you might use, it does take a while to blend out your foundation using a beauty blender, but for me, I think it's worthwhile because you are essentially creating a very beautiful airbrushed natural look when it comes to your foundation, and I think that that is really great. So that's why I always devote like at least like 1.5 minutes just blending out my foundation using the beauty blender, because it might take a long while and it might be a little bit frustrating, especially if you're in a hurry, but for me it's kind of worth it. I'm just going to take the blender and apply a little bit more product to the places where I really feel like I need more coverage. To be honest, I don't really feel like I need any coverage, like any extra coverage, because like this looks like it covered my skin pretty well, and my skin is actually really good right now compared to what it is usually. But just in case, you know, there's always a reason to use up the extra foundation on your hands, so why not? So I'm going to let my foundation just sit here for a while, and then I'm going to apply concealer later. But for now, I'm just going to work on my brows. For some reason, I just like to wait a little bit until I apply another layer of makeup to my face on top of the foundation, because I feel like if I do it like right away, it kind of gets a little bit messier, if that makes any sense. And for me, I think that for some reason my foundation and my makeup stays on longer if I actually wait between the steps. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but that's just how I've been doing it for like the past month or so. So for my brows, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and I'm just going to apply this using this angled brush. And something I always do whenever I apply this is I always like to brush off like the extra product on the back of my hand, because like you can see that this is too much to put on my brows. My brows will look very thick very quickly, and that's something I do not want. I want them to look a little bit more natural, but in general, I don't want like a big fat line on my brows. I think that's really like not good. So something like this is actually really good because that means you have more control, and in general it will end up looking a lot better. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the concealer that I have left on my beauty blender and just apply it to my lids to act as an eyeshadow base. So now I'm going into my singles palette, and this I really love looking at because like it's just eye candy for me. I love it. So I'm going to be going in with, so first I'm just going to go into Beaches and Cream from Makeup Geek. This is this color right here, and I'm going to apply this only to my crease. I feel like this is light enough so I don't really have to put a base underneath it. Usually I'll be like, oh yeah, put like some transition, put like a translucent powder to your eyelid for a base, on your eyelid for a base, but I just feel like this is such like an easy color. It is very blendable in general, and I feel like since I'm just using this one color, it won't matter if I put a base like of powder on or not. But the reason I don't want to set my entire eyelid with powder is because we are going to be going in with cream eyeshadows, and I don't feel like cream eyeshadows really go on well on top of powder because I feel like they perform well when there's no powder underneath. The first color I'm going to be using is ColourPop's Blaze eyeshadow. This is an amazing shade. I love it so much. I've used this a lot, and yeah, I'm almost like completely hitting pan on it. But yes, this is a great color. This is like very bronzy, and yeah, this is a cream eyeshadow, so I'm just going to apply this using my finger to the corners of my eye, and I'm also just going to blend it in inwards a little bit as well. This is something I do all the time. If you watch my videos, you will notice that a lot of times I put a defining color on the edge of my eye and I just blend it in to like the inner part of my eye, so it's a sort of gradient, and that's what I'm just going to be doing today with this color. If you ever feel like you need to blend out like an edge that you might not like, I would just use a clean finger. So that's why usually I use my middle finger for actual application of my eyeshadow, and then to like blend everything out to make sure it's all good, I like to use my ring finger. That's just my personal preference, and that's what I've been doing for years. I actually decided to apply a little bit more color to the center of my eyelid just because I love how like there are like these little gold shimmery flecks in this eyeshadow, and I think that's really beautiful. And then next I'm going to be using a little bit of Kathleen Lights eyeshadow from ColourPop again. This is what it looks like. It's a very true, like really warm gold, and I love it. I'm actually going to be using this in the center, like not in the center, in the inner corner of my eye, just to make sure that sort of ties in with the rest of the look, because we are actually going to be putting this color a little bit on the lips, on the cheeks, and I kind of feel like if I put it on the eyes just a little bit as well, it will really just tie in with the entire makeup look. I'm actually going to be using a little bit of Kathleen Lights eyeshadow from ColourPop, and I'm just going to apply it to the inner part of my eyelid, just in the inner corner, because we are going to be using this color a little bit, well, a lot throughout this entire makeup look, and I feel like this color will really tie in beautifully if I would just put a little bit into the inner corners of my eye. So for eyeliner, we're going to be using the Stila eyeliner because this is really good. I like it a lot. I think it's amazing, and it stays on like an old needy boyfriend. I don't, yeah. What I typically do with eyeliners, if you watch me, you know, I am just going to apply this to the inner part of my waterline on my upper lid. This will really just serve to make my eyelashes look a lot thicker, and it looks really weird when you're actually doing it. It looks kind of painful, but it really isn't for me anyway. I don't know, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but it kind of really works, and I think that it looks amazing. And then for mascara, we're going to be using the CoverGirl Supersizer Mascara. This is the one I've been using all the time, and it's really good because I think that it gives me a hell of a lot of volume, and I think that is pretty amazing. So yeah, we're just going to be using this. And then I'm just going to pop on some lashes. I'm using the Kiss lashes in this style Camellias. I really like them a lot. I think they're really good, and I feel like with this look they'll go really well because they're very low maintenance. You don't really have to, they don't really feel like anything on the eyes, and they look very natural, which I think is perfect for any kind of music festival or any kind of outdoor event anyway. So I'm just going to be using those, and I'm just going to pop them on real quickly. Now that I have my lashes on my eyeballs, I'm just going to go in with a color for my under eye area, and I think I'll be using this color right here. This is from, let me see, ColourPop is called Top Notch. And then to do that, I'm just going to be using this tiny little detail brush. I'm just going to apply this using this brush, just to tap off the excess to make sure that there isn't like anything too extra. And I'm just going to run this on my bottom lash line just to make sure that it looks a little bit even compared to the top. And I'm just going to be using the same mascara I was using earlier for my under eye area, because you know this is a really good mascara for the under eyes. I always say this. It has a very thin brush, and in general it's very easy to use. And I'm just going to apply this to my bottom lashes. Okay, so by this time my skin is looking really beautiful. Like, it's very luminous. It's not too luminous like I said before. It is like actually really good, but since this is Coachella, it's going to go away really quickly. It's going to turn into big hot greasy mess if we do not set it with at least just a little bit of powder. For this purpose, I'm using the Coty Airspun translucent powder. I would prefer the natural powder, to be honest with you. However, this is a pretty decent powder, and I'm actually running out of the natural one, and I have to go back and get some more of it because after a long last I have finally run out of it. It's really hard to run out of these powders because they're so thick. Like, not thick, they're so big, and I feel like I could accomplish something when I finished that powder. But with this powder, I feel like it's okay, it's pretty good, and it has a little bit of coverage as well, but it's still translucent, which I don't know how that works out, to be honest. It's a pretty good powder, so I'm just going to be using this. I'm going to be using this brush because it's really good at packing product, and even though it's like this very odd, well, kind of sharp shape, I feel like it's pretty decent for like just really concentrating powder on certain areas of my face. And I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of baking. I'm going to apply this to the edge of my eye, like right here, and just run this on my under eye so it looks like that. And then I'm also going to be applying a little bit to my laugh lines, because you know what, I have a lot of fun very easily, and I feel like if I do not do this, then I will get like a lot of creasing in that area. And then also just the jawline, can't hurt to do it there. And then I'm just going to pretty much do the same thing to the other side of my face as well. I'm also going to be taking just a little bit of the remaining powder on this brush and just run it down the center of my nose, just to make sure that it doesn't get too like unmanageable as the day goes on. Because I mean, it is nice to have like that glowy effect, but I still want to make sure that it stays there. So I'm just going to apply that down the center of my nose. So yeah, this is pretty much the end of this makeup look. And then while you wait for this to bake, you can just wait. You can drink some water. You can listen to some music. Let's just have a party. Okay, dance party's over, now it's time to get back to the makeup. So I'm using this fluffy brush just to remove the bake that I have going on here, but I'm also going to be using the remaining powder on my face just to make sure that the rest of my face is set, since I don't really want a thick layer of powder covering my entire face. But I'm just going to be using this just to brush off like the powder off my face and just sort of blend it into like the places where I didn't have any powder anyway. So that's pretty much what I'm doing, and I'm just going to brush off any excess powder that I have on the rest of my face. For cheek color, I'm actually going to be using two different colors mixed together. I'm going to be using this blush from Milani. This is their rose blush in the color Coral Cove. This looks very bright and intimidating in the pan, but when you mix it in with something like this is the Alexis Ren X ColourPop bronzer slash highlight duo that they had recently. This is a beautiful bronzer, and I love mixing it in with that brighter blush because that gives like the perfect bronzy yet really like just blushy kind of pigment. You can see when I mix these together and apply these to my face, it looks really beautiful. So I'm just going to do that, and yeah. So you can see this is how it's looking, and I actually really like this a lot. So I'm just going to do that to the other side of my face, and then we're going to move on. And then for highlight, I'm going in with this color from the same palette. This is like a beautiful bronzy color. I feel like since this is such like a gold highlight, it doesn't really show up so like intensely in the way that like a very light highlight would. And I kind of like it because it gives like the face like this really beautiful like gold effect, and I really love the way it looks with the rest of the makeup. So now for lips, I'm starting off with this ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Magic Wand. I'm just going to apply this all over my entire lip area. And then on top of that, I'm actually going to be using this color right here, that one I was using earlier, on my eyes. And I'm going to use my finger, and I'm just going to apply this to the center of my lip and just blend it out. And that will just really give the impression of like a bright gold mouth, which I really am into. So yeah, let's just try this out. And I'm actually really nervous for this next part because I don't know if it will look good. I don't know if it will ruin this entire makeup look, but I'm just going to take a small detail brush. I'm going to take this color, and I'm going to apply this to my cheeks, and I kind of want to draw like a star on my cheek. I don't know if this will work out or not. I feel like this is something that everyone does in Coachella makeup looks. Even like they either do like dots or they do like a star, or like several stars. And I don't really know if it will work out. I think maybe it might ruin this entire thing and I might be left like with a very botched makeup look. But we'll see if this works out. Okay, so really not a fan of how this is looking right now, so I'm just going to cover it up or fix it. We'll just see. Let me see if I can like get it off by like just doing my nail. Oh crap, this is awful. Well, not so much. Yeah, it came off quite easily. So yeah, okay, what can we do? Okay, let's just do dots. Okay, yeah, that's totally original. I have paper and I'm going to be using this hole puncher to punch the paper. I know this looks ridiculous, but like I don't really have a smaller one, so okay, so we have that. And this will make a perfect little circle. So yeah, it's called a DIY when you don't know how to do shit. So yeah, I'm just going to put that there, and then I'm going to simply take my finger, dip it into here, and just apply it. So yeah, I guess I want to do like several dots. So bad at this. Okay, there we go. I'm the dot queen. I am done with my dots. I don't know how I feel about this like dot situation, but you know what? The rest of them in the makeup look I do love. But thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. Whether or not you're going to a Coachella music festival or a music festival in general, I feel like you can easily wear this look. I mean, if you were taking an AP exam this May, just walk into the AP exam and be like, I am wearing this Coachella makeup look because I know I'm going to get a 5 or a 4 or maybe a 3 on this exam. But thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. Be sure to leave a like to boost my ego and a comment if you want to talk, if you want to like just express your opinion or anything. I don't know what you're going to say. But thank you so much for watching until the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.